So, hi everyone, welcome back to my podcast. This is episode number 4, and I do have some FOs that I have to show you. And I currently do not have any work in progress. And just before I begin, I would like to say thank you to everyone who have been watching my videos and subscribing to my channel. I am so very, very thankful, and please continue to subscribe and like and comment on my video. So for the past few weeks, it's been a little rough for me because I lost my nephew, and I lost my nephew. He was only 21 weeks, so me and my family, we've been really going through a hard time, and because of that, I've been crocheting and knitting up a storm just to keep my mind free and everything that's going on with the virus and everything. And me and my family have to be trying to support my sister in times like this. This was her first child and she lost it. So the best way we're trying to cope with it is to be there for her, support her in times of need. And for me, one thing that I've been using to cope with it is by crocheting a lot. So when it happened, before that happened to my nephew, I was in this project, knitting preemie hats for crocheting and knitting preemie hats for babies or preemie. So he would have lived if he was a few weeks older, and they didn't have the tube that he needed to survive. So I got really inspired by knitting preemie hats for or crocheting preemie hats for babies because it really shook me up. So I did make a few crochet preemie hats already, and I donated to the hospital that my sister was going to give birth to. And I'm currently also in the process of making more hats to donate to the hospital. So please, please, if you're watching this, please subscribe, please like, because with you liking and subscribing, that gives me more hope to keep making more hats to support moms who go into preterm labor or who have babies who are young. So that being said, I'm going to go straight into my FOs that I have. And the first FO that I have is this baby preemie hat. It's really small because those regular hats, they can fit preemie babies. So I decided to make some preemie hats for babies, and this is the first one. I hope you could see it. So this is it. Oh, there we go. So this is one. And I was only able to make 2 because I did make some before and donated them. And I found this lady on Instagram. She's the sweetest. I forgot her name, but I'll try to link it down. She also helped me last year by making preemie hats and donated to the hospital. So this is a gray one that I made. And these are just using red heart yarn to make this cute little gray beanie. And these hats did not take long. I did make a few, but these are the only 2 that I have currently with me right now. And these hats that I make are going to definitely help me to go on in this difficult time that's going on, these beanie hats. So that's my first FOs that I have, these beanie hats, and they were done with worsted weight yarn. And some of my next projects that I have is, I'm just going to show all my crochet projects. So next I have these mittens that I made. I used a chunky yarn, not a super chunky, but a chunky yarn to make it. I did single crochets for the cuffs, and for the cuff you could fold the cuffs under, and then the entire mitten is done in single crochet. So if you could look at it, then I had to stop and then do the thumb separately, but they are so cute, and it's really thick and warm. And you could always line these with your regular winter mittens that you have. See? Very cute. And my hands are all the way in it. So I made this color. This is the hand. And I don't remember the colorway that I used, but I know I got this yarn from I got this yarn from Michael's, and I only used one skein for each with a little skein left over. So this was beautiful. My next finish, I made two. I made a brown one. So this is my next one that I made. I didn't weave the ends in, but I also used the chunky yarn for the brown ones. Same single crochet stitch and same single crochet and so on. I might do a video on how to make these lovely crochet mittens because they are so beautiful. I'll just try them again and they fit very perfectly. See? And they're so cozy. And the thing is, when you do single crochet on chunky yarn, it does not give that open space. So these are the ones I have. Beautiful. There's something on it. So that's it. And then I made little coasters, I think. Little coasters, and I got ready for the winter. For the fall, so I put little stickers on them. And if you are a mom and you have a baby, sometimes when you make milk, when you mix formula, you warm your breast milk, the bottle does get hot. So I like to just slip one of these on my daughter's bottle to keep it nice and warm, so it doesn't bother her fingers or the palm of her hand being too warm. So I made this one using Lion brand Vanna's Choice yarn. And you get so many of these out of the Vanna's Choice yarn. This is one other color. And then this one was done with, this burgundy one was done with Red Heart. And then I put a little football inside of it. Cute, right? For a guy. And you're drinking hot coffee in the winter, you just slip this on your cup and it is perfect to go. That is what I have. And I know you see this beautiful blanket behind me. So this blanket was actually a not a knit blanket. This is a crochet blanket. This blanket was done. I was picked for a crochet test knit blanket. And this was the same pattern that I was going to use to make my nephew a blanket before I tested. So once I tested, I was going to go back, get some neutral colors for boys and make it. But I don't think I'm going to make it now because it brings back so much memory. So I don't think I'm going to go back to Michael's to get that neutral yarn at all. So, but I did make this, and it is called the Granny Lap Gan. This blanket is 46 by 47 in measurement. The original blanket that Vanessa made was 47 by 48. So mine is a little smaller, but she used Lion's brand Quick and Woolly, and then I use Burnett yarn. So I prefer Burnett yarn because this yarn was super soft, so I prefer that one. And when I tell you that this blanket is the softest thing you could ever see, it is the softest blanket ever. Look at all those colors. So this color here, it's what is it called there? What is it called? I can't remember, but I know the pink that I use right here, this pink color here, it is called Dust. Oh, I remember now. This color here is called Salami. So I use Salami in pink, Salami and Dust. So I use one ball of the Salami, and I use one ball of the Dust, then one ball of the Salami, then one ball of the Dust. And then for the end, I ended it with the Dust color. But it was a pleasure doing this crochet test knit, and I ended it with pom-poms. So on the end, they have 4 pom-poms on the end. And this blanket, I tell you, her pattern was so easy peasy, lemon squeezy to follow. It was so easy, and I took 2 days to finish this lovely blanket. So I finished it, And I think I'm gonna give it to my daughter so I could put it on her crib in the winter because it's such a beautiful, cozy blanket. And and that was my very first time ever doing a test crochet or a test knit pattern for anyone ever. So it was my pleasure to do that, to work on that project because I had so much fun. I made a granny stripe blanket once, but I used worsted weight, and it's by my mom's house. So maybe when I go to my mom's house, I could make a podcast and you guys could see. My last crochet item that I have is this beanie. So look at it. It does look like I was knitting, but it's not knitting. It's not knitted, it's crochet. So to get this lovely stitch here, all you have to do is when you do single crochets, instead of going in the loop above, you go into the middle of your stitch. Yes. So all the crochet lovers out there who love crocheting and don't want to give knitting a try, this is the perfect thing for you to try. So that's what I did. I practiced doing this. And when I tell you that this hat is thick, this hat is thick. So thick. And then the thing I like about this pattern is you could wear it on both sides. So don't mind the weavings because I didn't weave the ends in. Look. You cannot, look at this. Look at that. It is a two-sided beadie and it's so beautiful. And it's done. Everything is done in single crochet going into the second stitch. This hat is so thick. It's the perfect winter / fall hat. Look. And I use a chunky yarn for this, so that's why it has that really thick consistency because I use a chunky yarn. I think I used pumpkin. The orange was pumpkin and the gray is just a simple little gray. But I love the way it turned out. Definitely a cute hat. Let's look at it for a second. Oh, let me bring it back. Ooh, there we go. Cute, right? Okay, and then next up I have my knitting project. So I have a few knitting projects. Oh, sorry. I have one more crochet item. So I do not like to wear hats in the winter. It's like I need to create something that is not a hat. So I made this headband. It's head warmer out of crochet. And then I'm going to finish it off with a flowers. And I think I use a Vaness Choice blue yarn to make this headband. It's very simple. And it's done with double crochets. Yeah, double crochets and single crochets. Look at it. All it needs is just a little flower right now if you want to add a flower to it. But this is it. And next up I knitted two hats. So this is the first one. And I used the Lions brand thick and woolly yarn. And it gave it this self-striping color, which I really love. Blue again, and blue is my favorite color. And I ended it with a pom-pom to give it like a nice little look. And the yarn was already self-striping, so it gave this nice effect on the brim, in the middle, and at the end. So it was really good. It's also very thick too. But I guess you could wear it on two sides if you would like to. But this is what the other side looks like. It doesn't look that appealing, but this side is way better. So this is one. And then I made this Fair Isle purple hat with some white on the top. Get like a nice little crown. And I use Lion brand Quick and Willy. Don't remember the name of the yarn, but this is what it came out to. Little hearts in it. Cute, right? So that's it. And then, so everyone was knitting socks. So I wanted to give knitting socks a try, but I didn't. I wanted to just try it on some yarn that I have here, just to make sure when I try knitting the socks, I won't have an issue. So I decided to knit this socks. So this is the sock I knit. It's really bigger than mine. I think this one is called, it's a lemongrass yarn. But there's a few mistakes in it. Like when I got to the heel, I didn't know what to do. So just by looking at the heel, this is the heel. You can see some gaps here between the heel. There's some mistakes on the toes. But this was definitely a practice sock. And I didn't make a second one because I just wanted to take a time and look at the sock to see how I could improve, because I do have a few sock yarn. What can I improve to make a better sock? So this is what it looks like. The color is pretty, but I just need to tackle my sock making skills a little more. And this sock didn't take long, because you know knitting and crochet is like a therapy. So when you're in those stressful times, knitting and crochet just relax the mind, which I needed. And this other project that I'm going to show you has to be my favorite project of all. So this project is, I was going through Ravelry, and I was like, I need a project that is super simple and easy to whip up. So I was like, let me look for a top. And I found this cute little top on Ravelry. It is called the Basic Festival Top. And this is what it looks like. Let me see if I could keep it up. So this is what it looks like. And I've done it in a Bolero yarn. And I don't remember the color of it. So it's done first with 22 stitches on the top. And the pattern is free. 22 stitches on the top. And then some repeats. So you do the increases on the sides, on the two ends. And then you end it. You have an eyelid. Look at the eyelid. Let me make sure you guys could see this. Look at the eyelid bottom. And then you end the bottom with some pearls. Are you ready now to see what makes this top so beautiful? Are you ready? So, the thing that makes this top so beautiful is the back. The back is a laced up back. Look at that. Look at that. Take a second and admire that lace. So she did recommend in the pattern, if you want, this is a crop top, so you could make it longer by repeating the last row that she does with the increase or stockinette. And you could make it the suitor, but I wanted to do it a crop top because I do have a few high-waisted jeans that I could wear this beautiful top with. You could wear it with skirt. And then you ended, I ended mine by making a crochet chain. You could do an I-card she recommended, but I wanted to do a crochet chain. And I have to say, this took me only 2 days to make. It would have taken me one, but I was busy. But this is it. It is so beautiful. And maybe you could even change the design on the bottom. But I have to say, this top was my highlight of the week. And then I love the color. And the colorway that I use, so this is 50% alpaca and 50% wool. So if you are allergic to wool, this would not be the best yarn for you to try. But I was thinking, even in the winter, I could still wear this top with a white tee under it. And then just put this over it so I won't feel itchy. Because when I tried it, I did get a little itchy. But then when I tried a shirt under it, it was very beautiful, which I absolutely love. So if you do want to check out this lovely, lovely lady, please go check the pattern out on Ravelry and you could see it. So that was all that I have today for this podcast. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you for returning again. So I'll see you next time in my podcast. And I'm not thinking about making a podcast every week because I want to keep my love for knitting up and my love for crochet. So I might do a podcast every month to show you guys more projects. But thank you so much for watching. Please be safe out there. And life is so short. So when I want you to take this time out, be with your loved ones, tell them how much you care, give them a hug every day, call them and check up on them because life is so short. So have a blessed one, and I'll see you next time in my next podcast.